a Troop production.
Today I bring you an amazing woman. She has been in our homes for years. She has been in our hearts for years. But today, for the first time in a long time, she is going to let us into her heart and her home, into her most private self. Andrea Legarreta, welcome.
How are you? Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm really happy to be here with you. It's been a long time since I actually sat down like this officially to give more than an interview, to have a conversation, a chat. And I really like what you do. And that's why I'm so happy to be here. I mean, to see what you have for me.
Oh, I want to see what you have for us. Also, it's such an honor since it's been so long since you've done interviews.
A lot.
No, and more than that, I don't think you've ever done a podcast from what you told me.
Never.
This is so good.
I've never been on a podcast before, and sometimes they change the name, so I don't even know which is which anymore. And in the end, they're all kind of similar. But honestly, I feel really happy and ready. Thank you so much.
It's so nice that you came. Also, like I told you before we started recording, people have no idea you're what we see on TV times 1,000. This woman has beautiful energy and a big heart. When I was invited to the show today, you made me feel at home. Just like that, immediately. I hope you feel the same today and that we can have a productive conversation.
Thank you very much. Does that sound good to you? Thank you for what you said to me.
Hey, we all know already. And I'm going to start there. Because that's what's on people's minds. Currently, you're in a stage. I'm wondering what we should call it. Divorced, down, sad, or single, desired, and happy. Which way are we going to go? Which way are we going to go? ¿Por dónde nos vamos a ir?
Well, obviously, I'm already in a more open stage, more willing to live different experiences. A lot of painful experiences piled up for me. In the end, when you get married, you think you're really going to grow old with that person. And maybe in your dreams, you want to spend the rest of your life as a couple with that person. However, well, the changes are tough. It's painful when you see that it's not like that. But I also think we've handled it in a very respectful, very beautiful way, with gratitude. People who said, oh, how ridiculous. How can it come from a place of love? Well, yes, from a place of love, it's not ridiculous, right?
For people who maybe don't follow this topic in show business much, we can give them a bit of, not towards gossip, because we're not interested in that here, but rather to see a woman reinventing herself, being resilient. And because of this process she went through, which is never easy, but now, with someone you shared so much with, it's even harder, right? So how long were you married to Eric? Eric?
Officially, well, it's just that, I mean, it was almost, we announced the separation in February. February in 2023. And in April, we would have reached or celebrated 23 years of marriage. Because actually, we still haven't signed any papers yet. But not because we don't intend to, not because we plan to go back or continue at some point. It's just that we're both pretty easygoing about a lot of things in that sense of it's no big deal. In the end, sometimes the paperwork doesn't matter. There are people who have a piece of paper their whole lives and die with that paper, and they're not a couple anymore. So, well, yes, I think we'll do it soon in the near future. However, before announcing this separation as a couple, well, it's because you were already separated. You were somewhere else. The truth is, that's it, exactly.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to get to, because I've seen you. Well, you get along with him in a very friendly way, like you said, from a place of we're not enemies. You suddenly appear together on social media, on the show. You do things together. You undo things. You're with your daughters, but clearly, well, you're trying to reconnect from a different place and for another project. But what is it that makes you say, I don't feel like I belong here anymore? I mean, after more than 20 years, what is it that makes you say, that's it? What brought you both to that point? Because, yes,
Something between two people.
yes,
In the end, it's something between two people. I mean, whether it's a relationship, a couple, friendship, work, I mean, in the end, any kind of relationship, if you don't nurture it, well, there comes a point where it just becomes a habit. Um, I don't know. It's something between two people. I think that both of us, since we met, connected in a really beautiful way. It was really fast. Also, we became a couple. We were together for just a short time before he gave me the engagement ring and all that. And we got married in less than 6 months. Thank you.
how old were you?
28. I was 28.
Thank you.
He had just turned 29. We were born in the same year. And honestly, everything was really nice. The reality is that over the years, I mean, things happen in the story of a couple who have been together for so long, from trying to get pregnant, from not being able to, all of this is very exhausting as a couple. Everyone experiences it from their own perspective. The man from his side, maybe, I don't know, where perhaps, well, it makes you sad to think that it might be you and to question many things as a man and as a woman too. However, well, Mia came after 5 years of marriage, and it was very beautiful. It was a dream come true for both of us. Our families are different, beautiful, but different. His parents got divorced when he was very little. Well, my family, I mean, my mom died when my parents were about to celebrate 57 years of marriage.
They had slightly different meanings of love.
Well, yes. And in the end, we created our own meaning. The meaning of love. I mean, when we met, we connected in a really beautiful way. And, well, after that, there are many things, starting with work. Honestly, I really am very much a mom, so I want to think that's part of it too. A lot of the time, it was a major distraction from our relationship as a couple. He got really caught up in working a lot. In the musician studio, maybe you don't see them all the time, but they're there working. And well, we worked really well as a team. We adore each other, we admire each other. But the relationship, the story of us as a couple, started to fade away.
There are a lot of women, especially who follow me, and who go through similar things. And I want you to share a little bit with them so they can relate to that. This process and the one they are probably going through, but also for those who are thinking about it. Because, well, there is a belief in Mexico and in Latin America in general, right, that getting divorced is a failure. That, well, what's the point, right? I'm already X age, I already have kids, so it's like I might as well just stay here and keep up this routine because it's not like it bothers me that much, right? I mean, there's that, but we're not really a couple. I'm just kind of living like a dead person, just floating along, like in that space where I'm not really fulfilled, but I don't feel very sad either. So, like, what makes you say, "Hey, no, I mean, I still have a lot of desire for something, a lot of life, a lot of things to do." And like, well, I just don't want to be here. You really did because you went against a lot of things, especially from your generation, from your upbringing. Was it more about wanting a new phase, or how did you come to that?
The thing is, at several points, he and I talked. And obviously, we had a beautiful story, a relationship that wasn't toxic at all. I mean, I've never had toxic relationships. I don't agree with them. And I hope I never have one because that's not who I am. It was a story full of respect, love, laughter, and admiration. I used to tell him that even if we broke up, I'd still be his fan because, besides, I think he's a very talented man. I love what he does artistically. And honestly, it was a very, very, very beautiful story. Him too. He was always cheering me on, never telling me, don't wear that, don't say that, don't go out. No.
Yes.
On the contrary, he would cheer me on. Oh, your legs look great in that miniskirt. Honestly, yes, a lot of support. So, when I started to notice, suddenly there were arguments out of nowhere. That's when you realize that, well, maybe things have been kept quiet or swept under the rug, like nothing is happening here. Sometimes it's because of your kids, sometimes it's because of you. No, no, I don't think of it as comfort because in the end, I've been an independent woman for many years. Him, too. I mean, if I'm with someone, it's not going to be because I need him financially or in any other way for comfort. If I'm with someone, it's because I love him, right? He. And so Eric honestly also did incredibly well. These last few years, he's been doing amazing as a businessman, as a songwriter, in theater. I mean, so actually, being together didn't mean it was out of convenience or anything like that, but rather fighting for love of family. And we stayed very much in a kind of familial love. Um, the truth is that it was a conversation between the two of us. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't that I said,
Could you relate to the idea that maybe love transformed into something different, into being more of a family team, but not as a couple anymore?
well, it's just that it's complicated. Defining it is hard, but yes, probably yes, probably yes. Or maybe, especially, we're talking about the physical aspect. That even, I mean, when you're in a relationship, maybe a long one, there are stages where you go into flight mode. If you're okay, it's fine. No tomorrow, or if you want the day after tomorrow or the weekend, I'm tired. And so I think that in the end, also as human beings, we need that part too, right? The emotional part in history, the emotional part. We're affectionate and we like to hug and all that, but we were missing that too. I don't know. It's a lot of things. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine.
That's mostly because of the context. Like we said, we're not here looking for gossip. That, of course, it really helps that you share a little bit of that part of your life with us, or maybe a big part, right? But I think this episode, yes,
You talk a lot about love.
yes. And actually, what I want to get to is that many of my followers and my audience are women who go through this. And what is hardest for them is not the divorce itself. It's not sitting down with their partner to talk or ending up in court and signing the papers. No. It's chapter 2. And that's where I wanted to get to. It's about reinventing yourself as a woman, as this person who rises again, right? From these ashes. Because even though it seems like everything is fine, there's a pain and a story that comes to an end. So the first thing I want to ask you is, well, how did you feel? I mean, was it already pretty much closed for you, or did you go through a really tough grieving process, or how did you feel?
No, yes. It was really tough. No doubt about it. I mean, I'm a woman who, ever since I was a little girl, well, I really longed for that happily ever after. You know, I get emotional there
I love it.
because I see myself as that little girl, who dreamed about that. But in the end, well, here we are. Well, it's very sad. Yes, it's sad, but it's also healthy. It's healthy when you've loved so much. And when both of you realize that sometimes there's even a kind of weariness. I mean, like that maybe you need something more, and he does too. And that you've been there going to therapy, doing things as best you can. Um, and you see that it's not working. So you get into place of like sadness and sometimes anger at yourself because you feel like maybe you're a coward that you don't make the decision. Suddenly you say, oh, well, maybe we should have decided this earlier. I don't know. I think in the end, you make the decision at the right time when it's supposed to happen. But yes, there's an emotion that comes from sadness, which sometimes turns into anger. So when you see that these arguments are hurting the history you share, not just as a couple, but also your friendship, your trust, your family, sir, I think it's a good time to say we need to pull ourselves together and say, I want this or I don't want this. Can we do it? Can't we do it? What should we do? Not just anyone can do it.
No.
And, well, that's how it was. He and I talked about it together with certainty, with fear. Oh,
I remember that we were together when I got emotional.
when we shared this video together,
Uh-huh.
announcing this separation, and the two of us, instead of going our separate ways, hugged each other tightly and cried. Because in the end, well, it hurts. It's very painful, but also it's like the fear of where are we going, right? What's going to happen to each of us? The truth is, only good things have happened. Sometimes people claim it's made up or say things about both of them. How ridiculous. Why say it's about love? And you know what? I, Johnny Abraham, it's been wonderful to discover that and to show them that beyond what people think, the truth is there's no bad blood for us to discover that, yes, it could be done with love. That it is true, that it came from love, from gratitude, from what we've learned, from how we've grown together, from what we've been through. You know, tragedies, accidents, lots of laughter, lots of tears, worries, trips. I mean, it's a whole life. And then to look back and say, well, we had the most beautiful thing that ever happened to both of us, which is our daughters, who are also wonderful. They're amazing women, I swear. They've supported us in everything. Now my nose is getting stuffy. If we live from that place and time goes by, we keep wishing the best for each other. Another thing is, if we manage to travel and keep being that family that held each other close, that supported each other, that keeps supporting each other, that keeps asking each other for advice, to me, it seems more like a triumph than a failure.
Wow. Wow. I love it. Because I was just about to ask you that, yes, yes. Doing it from that place, even if it's bitter, painful, emotionally complicated, and nobody ever teaches us this kind of thing. Eventually, it feels like it's okay. It's like that was it. I mean, you had to close that chapter to start writing another one. And in that other one, that character transforms. But he remains in your story because he's the father of your daughters. And that's beautiful because sadly, not everyone here can say that. The dad leaves or the mom leaves, or they fight to the death, or the mom uses the kids to punish him.
Or vice versa.
So, how powerful it is for you to tell people today, yes, it was out of love, whether they believe it or not. Because even though most people's stories may be different, it can be done. And it's not a failure. Because, of course, the ideal is forever.
Yes.
But if it's forever, well, it's not like we're going to make each other's lives impossible. We're not going to make our lives more difficult. We're not going to ruin our daughters' lives or our own. So I want to, or I'm framing this so that if you who are listening to me are thinking about separating, divorcing, if you're no longer fulfilled in your relationship, you can see that it is possible to do it in a non-violent way. And that's beautiful, Andrea, because very few people share that. And it doesn't mean that it's perfect because it hurts you to your core and because you're breaking down inside. And thank you for that trust. But even though it hurts, it's for the best. And it's for your good, his good, and also your daughter's good, right? How did your daughters take it?
Totally. My daughters had to handle it. I no longer see them as little girls. So they also had to go through some stages. Honestly, overall, I insist there has been a lot of respect, right? We weren't a couple that would offend each other, insult each other, or yell ugly things during an argument. But sometimes we did have arguments in front of them. Someone once told me, that's okay too. They can't think that everything is perfect, that there are no problems. People who love each other still argue and have differences. And they came to experience these moments and realized that there were no insults, no yelling, no slamming doors, and much less any kind of violence. But in the end, these people can also reconcile, talk, and apologize. Of course, to adapt certain things, certain character flaws. I mean, they went through certain stages that I insist were never something that harmed them. On a deep level, it hurts to see someone you love argue, obviously. But they were already at an age where they had even been part of some of the conversations, yes. Even though it was about the couple, they also gave their point of view. And they were okay with that. Yes, they cried. And even now, well, maybe they still miss their dad, I don't know, at bedtime and things like that, like saying goodnight, the conversations. But Eric is very involved. Besides, where we live, that's where his studio is. So, because of work and the love he has for the girls, he's there all the time. We've also talked about it that if one day we had a relationship with someone else, it's very clear that this person would probably have to open their mind because there are people who don't understand it. Maybe open their heart and say, if I love you, and I know that you two weren't together, it's for a reason. So they should also embrace this family dynamic built on respect. If they're willing to be in a relationship with either of them, the girls are seeing that it's possible to end a relationship in a healthy way and that it can also end up being the best. We get along great, we can travel together, we still share or split, well, the girls' expenses. I mean, we're a really good team. And now I'm standing in a different place. It was hard for me. It was hard to let go, to stop seeing myself as Eric's wife. Like, well, yes, like, well, I'll always be the mom. But yes, this relationship, this story, it was really hard for me. It hurt a lot. Even though I knew it was probably the healthiest thing. And then they would say to me, they're going to introduce you to a friend. I want you to meet someone. It's just that a friend wants to meet you. And I was like, what? I mean, no way. No, 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 no. Zero, zero. Just imagine so many years of history. For a man, I think it's easier.
Well, it depends on what kind of relationship we're talking about, right? Generally, because also everyone thinks differently. And honestly, there are no identical formulas. But, well, everyone is going to have their own process. It's actually very recent, and you never know. What I want to ask you right there is, are you open to meeting someone new, to having a partner? Or, like, have you already moved past that part? Yes.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm very affectionate. Time, I stopped doing some things. I'm very thoughtful, affectionate, caring. I really like to show my affection with caresses, hugs, kisses, you know? It's actually been very recently that I say, yeah, it would be nice, you know. Or I think, no, no, I'm very careful. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm exactly distrustful, but also, well, I'm a woman who's in a different position, who who maybe are also in a process like this, and maybe it's easier for them to go out and all that. I mean, for me, well, when I've gone out with a friend or something like that, they already assume he's my partner, or they already make it out to be something like that.
The media.
Uh-huh. Well, now I'm at that point where I don't care what people think. I mean, I have the right to go out, to meet people, to know things. Even my daughters tell me that, and Eric himself has told me that too. Hey, going out and meeting people doesn't mean you have to kiss someone or start dating them. Not at all, right? And definitely not anything beyond that, right? Give yourself the chance. And besides, well, it's not I mean, I still haven't really done it yet. A lot of time went by, way more than what people sometimes say, about the breakup, or maybe that I had or still have another relationship, that it's infidelity, things like that, beyond what people say. Honestly, at this point, at my age, I really don't care what. Oh,
That's good.
it's not like that. However, if they want to think that way and it makes them feel good, makes them feel at ease, then let them think that. Even before I broke up with Eric, which obviously we did, also because of this lack of physical connection. And that's also one of the issues in a relationship. Since then, up until very recently, I hadn't kissed anyone. And nobody believed me. I hadn't kissed anyone, let alone anything more. So, a soap opera, Juan Osorio called me to play a role, a special appearance in his show. And a soap opera led me to kiss a guy again.
And butterflies and fireworks.
Okay. Well, no, not butterflies, because in the end, I feel like butterflies, okay, they have to do with a different kind of relationship.
But goosebumps.
Here, a lot of nerves. Okay. I was very nervous. I talked about it. It was first with Ivan Arana, who is also an amazing actor. I've always admired him. I think he's a great actor. And I talked to him about it. I asked if I could go there to the trailer because we went to Michoacan. I mean, besides, my first scene was a makeout scene. And besides, I had never done scenes like that before, but my daughters were encouraging me. Yes, mom, do it. You're an actress. Do something different. I mean, it was really nice because they were supporting me. And I was like, I'm so embarrassed. No, don't be embarrassed. I mean, not even the villains I played had done intense scenes like that. They were more innocent. And I was like, oh my God, I was sweating. So I sat him down there. I told him, I admire you so much. You're an amazing actor. You're super active in acting. I'm not. I mean, what I had done was also very light. Grease, where Frenchie was a really fun character. Actually, no, I hadn't done any of that. And I told him, and on the other hand, I have to confess something personal to you. And then his eyes got like this, like really. I mean, it was really sweet.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, really. What? You haven't dated anyone? No. So you haven't kissed anyone? No. You relax. I mean, it was like, I'm going to support you. That's really good. Because, it's pretty tasteful in the end. I mean, it's just making out.
Yeah.
Careful.
Yes.
Well, yeah, like putting my hand under the dress, showing my leg to the camera. Yeah, like some big kisses. We had half of Pátzcuaro watching the scene, watching us in a tree. I mean, it was really intense. I mean, it was like, but I also said, I can't make a fool of myself. I mean, I can't be like, oh, how embarrassing. Or make a face like, because I've been an actress from the start. Of course, I wasn't a famous child, but I acted since I was young.
But anyway, you acted on the outside, but inside you felt this Andrea, like when you were in your 20s, you got nervous again. I mean, it wasn't about a spark with him, but because you felt something you hadn't in a long time, right?
Of course. No, I can't deny it. Of course. I mean, that's how it was. Wow, I just remembered. That's nice. This feels so good. And I mean, honestly, the part where he's handsome, and I mean, yes, there was a good one. There was good acting on both our parts. Okay.
Okay. But there
There is chemistry. We get along. Well, he is very, very nice, very respectful. I want to insist on this because no, it wasn't anything beyond that. Right? I don't want people to get confused about it later. He's a married man with 4 young kids. He's just a sweetheart, nothing more. They were acting. Clearly, it was acting. But in the end, the body also feels. And you say, okay, now I remember that, yes, it was really great. And then I got to work with Fernando Colunga. And with him, look, I've known him much longer, for many more years. I really like him. There's a special affection with him. And when the scene with him comes up, I can't describe it because I'm gonna spoil it.
No, describe it.
I was saying what a shame, since he's also really formal. It's like he comes to rehearsal with his face mask on. I was saying, am I supposed to kiss him with the mask on or what? No. I was nervous about that, you know? And the scene, I thought it was a scene where there would be some kisses, some sweet moments and all that. I ended up in a lace bodysuit. I mean, I was dressed as a bride, and of course, you talk it over. Everything has to be agreed upon, especially nowadays when everything,
Yes.
yes, right, with caution. You talk about it, the agreements, this and that, and it went on and on and on. And then it was almost, he told me in the dressing room, and I said, please stay here, watch over me. I mean, just make sure nothing extra shows. And he said, yes, don't worry. I was like, oh my God, I started to sweat. He says this had been happening for 30 minutes. Well, honestly, it was also really good.
Of course.
I mean, I have to admit it. Wow. He surprised me too. Good kisses. And supposedly I'm the one, I mean, who has him falling for me, but also, because of what happens in bed.
Okay. I mean, you're like the one.
I'm the one who's the expert there, of course. So, of course, the whole time I was thinking, go for it, because if you don't, you're going to repeat it 100 times. You're going to end up looking ridiculous next to them. And no, I mean, you're an actress. Yes, I can separate that part. After all, I've been at Televisa since I was 8 years old. I studied acting since I was a little girl. I've played many roles and really enjoy it. However, this intimate part has always been a challenge for me. And now it was a big challenge. But you'll see the result on screen. I think it turned out really well.
On screen, it's clear to me that there's care in everything. But from what I'm reading, and with all due respect, I'm asking you. I mean, from what I see, you're reconnecting with a part of yourself that is very sexual. No, it doesn't seem like that's how you were.
Very shy, reserved.
As a little girl, well, as a newlywed, if you want, or however you like.
Exactly. I mean, in my relationships where I already learned my lesson, look, I was never the one at the club. I mean, not even, no, it's clear to me. But I was never the one who met someone at the club and started making out right away. Not that either. It was a different time too.
Since you told us you sat the actor down to explain before kissing him, we saw what a good girl you are.
I mean, I'm telling you, people say a lot of things. Honestly, yes. They've said some horrible and unfair things because they don't know me. So for people, it's easier to say, yeah, for sure, she's definitely working there. And it's not because of her talent, right? It's very cruel. But anyway, the reality is that, yes, I am. I'm passionate. I'm dedicated. I mean, yes, I am.
And today, now that you're reconnecting with it, how do you feel about yourself in that way? I mean, you'll share whatever you want, but do you still feel nervous about having a coffee, that something might happen, or are you already like, or I mean, how do you feel? Because it's not the same as when you were 28 and got married, right?
As a woman in her 50s.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say a stunning woman over 50.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, but anyway, issues of self-esteem and insecurity come up. And if you haven't worked on them, they can affect you in intimate situations. So how do you handle that now in your new single life?
Well, I don't handle it because I haven't experienced anything with anyone yet, aside from acting, of course. But I feel excited. There are people who see me and think that I have someone. Yes. Because I'm excited. Like, I'm excited about what might come in my life. No, I'm not in a hurry. But just knowing I'm open to going out and meeting people, no, I don't like to force anything either. I mean, if I meet someone, if it's something, well, I would like to really get to know that person. I'm not like, no, I'm telling you, never say never. Suddenly, for example, guys in their 30s write to me. And that really surprises me because I think, but why aren't you writing to a 20-year-old or someone your own age? Why are you writing to a woman in her 50s? Or they seek me out and I don't know. They even start flirting with me. Who knows? You feel like, and it makes me feel a little, yes, excited, amused. I appreciate it. Of course.
Of course.
But at some point, I was saying, no, what am I going to do? I mean, at my age with someone that age, I mean, maybe I'd like someone closer to my age, a little younger, a little older. But I'll also tell you, never say never. Because honestly, I don't look bad. Some men in their 30s look like they're in their 40s. Yes. So also, I mean, I really think that now, I can't keep putting so many obstacles in my own way.
Correct. You're already there. Honestly, you know what you're looking for. Totally free and totally, I mean, taking care of your own little heart and everything. But I think you'll keep telling us here in the episodes what's going to happen.
Exactly.
I'll keep coming like this. Let's see.
Yes, guys in their 30s, cross it out.
Guys in their 50s, cross it out. Guys in their 40s or 45.
50-year-olds, 50s, guys in their 60s. How about them are so gorgeous?
Now, honestly, men take care of ourselves.
What is it? I mean, I was watching Patrick, yes. Pues estaba viendo a Patrick Dempsey. He's 59. Tom Cruise. I mean, there are people in their 50s.
Yes, people in their 50s, 60s who look absolutely amazing. So,
And let's see, I mean, when you think to yourself, do you say, well, yeah, honestly, I would like someone like that? What do you imagine? Do you imagine a partner?
I'm sweating. Ha ha! Turn on the fan. Turn it on. Turn it on. Yes.
Or can you just imagine, like, I don't know, like people you can share little things with? I mean, because a lot of people, when they go through a divorce and become single again, it's like love is off the table. Like, I don't believe in love anymore. I just give myself to pleasure, or I'm just here up to this point, right?
I give myself to play.
I give myself to pleasure. And that's it. And then how do you, I mean, what do you see? Do you see like a committed relationship or nothing at all? I mean,
I don't see anything. Nothing. I mean, you never know. I don't see it. Okay, you're open. Nothing. I mean, yes, as of today, I can tell you that getting married or moving in with someone and all that seems like...
no.
I don't see it.
Got it.
I don't see it today. Today.
today.
But never say never. I mean, I don't see it. Actually, when Eric left, I started to remodel my room to have my dream bed because, for example, Eric had chosen ours. And one of those beds was all the way at the bottom. You know, like a single guy, like a man, well, like a young guy, like... And now I have a bed like that. Tall electric, with cushions and more cushions. And I'm fixing up my place, fixing myself up. I mean, like, while I'm doing that, I'm also fixing myself.
That's good.
I went through a lot of sadness first. Well, about my mom. And then what happened with Eric, and then, no, first with Eric, then with my mom, then with a beloved nephew who was 14, who also passed away. I mean, I cried a lot. I had a lot of sadness. A lot that, like everyone at some point, if you haven't had them, sadly you will, or we will be the cause of someone else's sadness. But it was really hard, you know? I couldn't even, I mean, get out of there. And I mean, of course, you don't feel like kissing anyone or going out with anyone. Not even, I mean, for me, my time is so valuable. And now, and with, when you start seeing these losses, you realize that time is so valuable. Telling people that you love them, how much you love them, enjoying them, sharing life with them. Well, it still happens to me that, hey, I want to introduce you to a friend. Go out to dinner with that friend. Or watch a movie in my bed with my daughters. Watch a movie in my bed with my daughters. Going on a trip with someone, with a friend, or taking my dad to Oaxaca on a trip, or anywhere else, I take my dad with me. But I'm already broadening my horizons. So I'm being reborn. I mean, from so much pain, like they say, suffering is growth. So having suffered so much has made me grow in many ways. And I also feel freer.
I was just about to ask you, what things, besides those little butterflies we talked about, have you reconnected with? What butterflies, what other things have you reconnected with? Your freedom is one example, as you just mentioned. What things about yourself do you say, wow, I'm starting to see this part of me again, or I want this part of me?
By dedicating time to myself, by making time for myself, by feeling pretty again. I didn't feel pretty before.
Really?
Not at all. Not at all.
It would be incredible for those of us who see you from here, always looking beautiful on screen, always put together, always looking cheerful, to know that inside you don't feel that way, right? How did you feel?
No, on screen, you go out there and smile. Sometimes when you don't want to, and you go out to help someone who isn't feeling well, and you think, why should I pass on my sadness to them? Adding to their sadness, sometimes they care about you and include you in their lives. So, well, it also has to do with acting, pretending that things aren't so bad. Sometimes you have physical pain or you feel deeply sad and you still have to go out and smile. You put on makeup. Sometimes, I remember it took them a day, well, several days, but I would put on makeup and it would run again and so on. And that's how it is for all of us. Almost everyone there, especially as hosts on a live show, because soap operas are recorded. Maybe you can take a break, maybe, but it's complicated. And in this separation, also in the end, even though my parents taught me to be confident and to love myself and to believe in myself, yeah. Well, yes, there's a lot of insecurity in this environment. There are people who maybe don't make you feel that way, or I don't know. The point is that I don't allow it anymore. So when this separation happened, of course, I was saying, oh God, I'm going through a separation at 50 years old. What's going to happen to me? I mean, I felt like shattered, like maybe no one would ever notice me. And it's hard. It's hard. But yes, I started it to take care of myself, to dedicate time to myself, to think that 50 is just a number. It's not me. I am much more than my age. And I went back to exercising. I had stopped working out for a long time. I went back to exercising. Those endorphins are real. It's true that we have to work out. It's real. It changes everything for you. Even when you put on some lotion, you feel like your leg is firmer. Generally, I eat well. But yes, I'm trying to be healthier, to listen, to watch, to read nice, positive things that make me feel good. And suddenly, out of nowhere, you realize that yes, it's true. In many ways, you are the one closing the door on people with your attitude. Even if you're not rude, even if you're not cold, even if there's no direct rejection. And suddenly, I started to see that there really were other people noticing me. Some people actually think I'm pretty. And beyond that, it has to do with me, not with them.
Congratulations on that, because yes, I've heard it many times and it impressed me. I'm sure our listeners feel the same way. How? I mean, people are going to say, but how? I mean, how did she think or believe that no one else was going to look at her? Well, because what we see, and again, with all due respect, I see a very beautiful woman with a very beautiful, charming, professionally successful, a devoted mom who ended things well with her ex-husband. I mean, you're a 10, and you saw yourself as much less than a 10. That clearly limits you and your opportunities. So what now? From rock bottom, what made you take the first step to say, no, I'm not staying here? Because there are a lot of people listening to us who really are at rock bottom and don't know how to take the first step up again. What can you recommend to them?
You know, sometimes in my private conversations with my mom, I think about what she would tell me. And in many moments when she was with me, she really was my cheerleader. I mean, it was so motivating to listen to her. My daughters who stopped being little girls, and they are women. Then they started telling me such lovely things about me, even about my appearance, about what I deserve. Mom, you always give everything to everyone. Don't worry about me. That's just how we end up. I think it's real, but I'm not sure if it's about. I don't know if it's a women thing in the end. But yes, I love doing this. Being a mom was my dream. I have 2 little girls and I want to dedicate my life to them.
Of course.
They tell me, no, come on, do something for yourself. Or they would come home and I was lying in my bed with the curtains closed and pretending that I was okay. Mom, this can't go on. I mean, get up, go exercise. Do it for yourself, do it for you. Both of them exercise a lot. They have a healthy, beautiful life. And they are the ones who started to motivate me. What's wrong with you? Go out. Or I would tell them, oh no, it's just that so and so told me she wants to introduce me to a friend. Meet him. And I was like, I just don't feel like it. Why not? Or put this on. I mean, suddenly I just stopped wearing certain clothes or started covering up a lot. And when they knew that, well, that I'm also flirty, that I like to wear a mini skirt or a short dress or dress up in a youthful way, I don't know. And I think they were my main motivation. Also, my dad is a man who is almost 83 years old. And this whole time he would go to the gym from Monday to Friday.
Wow.
He's strong, ripped. He hangs out with his friends. And he also motivated me. He told me, you have to get up and you have to go out. And I said, how embarrassing that he, after losing his love of more than 50 years, has the strength and spirit to get up. And I don't. And that's how I started. And then my cousin, who lost Mateo, my nephew, because my cousin is like a sister to me, period. And that afterwards, she still takes her pain and her broken pieces and goes to exercise and does things for herself. And I started to see others, both men and women. And I turned to and I said, you deserve it.
Wow, that's great advice. And I hope people who are going through something like that can do the same. Get good references, tell themselves good stories, recall those who love them and what they'd say in those moments. And above all, look at yourself and say, I deserve more and I want to be happy and I want to get out of this bed and go out and live. Because maybe a stage has ended and maybe what I went through was really hard because of everything you told us, what happened to you or with your cousin. But well, my life goes on and I have to keep going. Maybe not with a big smile at first, but I'm going to do the best I can, right? Life keeps knocking me down, but I'll get back up. And that's what a lot of people today, thank you for opening up like that because I need to hear it because like you said, we all pretend to be okay. And few of us admit that sometimes we're not doing so well. And it's hard.
But it's not wrong. It's not wrong to shed tears for your difficult moments either. But I also think about my mom, if she stood right in front of me in those moments, she would mostly say, what's wrong with you? Keep going, live, smile. I'm someone who laughs easily. I'm joyful. I enjoy sunsets. I enjoy good food, traveling. I mean, what's wrong with you? And it's also a tribute to her life, to those who are no longer here. How fortunate we are to keep living. How fortunate to be here. Like I tell my daughters, sadness. Let's think of yourself as your own house. And sadness is like the TV room. I tell them this as an example because the TV room is in the middle of the 3 bedrooms. So I say, that's sadness. It's okay if we come in and sit there for a little while sometimes. If you want a couple of hours or more. If you want to stay almost a whole day. But you have to get up and go to your own space, the one you like. To your bedroom, to exercise, to hang out with your friends. I started to understand that too. I used to tell them this even before everything happened because teenagers experience many changes. Don't get stuck there. And now I say it to myself, and I say it to those who are watching us. We shouldn't get stuck in sadness. It's perfectly valid and even comforting to cry. But what I tell you, what I tell myself, what I've lived through, the different moments I've experienced, the painful stages I've gone through. I've learned how to handle them in a place, in my heart, or in my mind, or on my skin, in my body. So then it doesn't hurt as much anymore. I've even come to appreciate the sadness because it means that you're sad because you experience beauty and loved. The grief counselor once told me that love is stronger than pain. And it's true. Maybe you don't see it that way at that moment, but it is true. I mean, how wonderful that if you're crying like that over someone, it's because of the level of love you've had for them and that you've had together. What do you prefer? Gabby told me the same thing. Would you have preferred not having her to avoid suffering? Or to have her like you did, so you could have loved her the way you did? I'd rather have had everything I've had.
Of course.
And now to see it from a different...
How nice. And that, well, lets us confirm that even though that stage ended, you wouldn't change it. No, you wouldn't do it differently. Not at all.
No. Maybe I would have done things differently. But in the end, what if doesn't exist?
Exactly.
So maybe for me, it would be nice to tell those who are going through a difficult time with a partner, a good partner, someone who is worth it, someone they've loved, someone who has loved them. I think it's worth making that extra effort. If you're not having a good time, then no. And if you're alone, it's the same. If you're fine like that alone, that's okay too. It's no big deal.
And Andrea, I want to emphasize a little on this point about sadness, which is valid as long as you don't turn it into your martyrdom and suffering. Because then you stop living. It's very healthy to feel pain, to cry about it, and from there, learn and move on. But don't drown in it. However, there's no doubt that there will be someone or even several people out there who say, well, of course, it's easy for her because she's pretty, because she's successful, because of her daughters. But me, right? And they start to beat themselves up. What can we say to those people who maybe don't have or don't see what they might project onto you, but who have other things or another world or something, so that they can also look at all those good things they have? I mean, what would you say to them as a woman who is reinventing herself and is resilient so that they can get out of there and not stay shut away behind closed curtains?
First of all, I would think that they should see that, yes, sometimes when we're sad, we see everything as if we're lacking, as if we don't have, as if we're not enough, or we don't look a certain way. Or, I mean, no, we go there. I prefer that they change, even if it's just a little, that money, for example, can't buy. Do I have my health? Good. Maybe not. I'm just maybe alone, but maybe I have the physical strength to go out and exercise, to walk in the park, yes, you do. Do you have fond memories from your life? I'm sure you do. And dreams? Even if you say no, you do. And why don't you get up and try to go after that dream? And if you don't achieve it, it's okay. But just getting up is already an accomplishment.
Hope is incredibly powerful. And I love how you said it, because to reinforce that, in sadness, a lot of people can't think clearly because their brain works against them. Everything your brain is releasing doesn't let you see everything you do have, to smile, to feel hope. So they have to do it kind of consciously, let's call it acting or forcing it. And you're going to start feeling hits like, it feels good.
Yes.
Push yourselves. And eventually, even if during the first few weeks you feel like you're faking it, you'll eventually get to a good place. Right, Andrea?
Yes, and go out.
And go out.
Going out is really important. In our case, well, in your case too. Or for people who work in front of a camera or on a stage. That obviously leads us to smile, to play that character, to pretend that everything is okay. That saves us. I think that's also what has rescued us. For me, it saved me. Frenchie, the ambassador character, and Selena. My mom died Sunday, and by Thursday I was performing as Frenchie with that pink wig, with a big smile, pretending, right? So they say, I don't know, but I think it's true. They say your brain receives your smile as if it's real. Like, I mean, obviously, your posture. I think in the end, yes, go out. I mean, yes, going out with friends, going to a public place, and all that. Sometimes it even forces you a little bit to put on a better face. That's what I always tell them. That's important too. Do things you enjoy, eat good food. Hey, listen to the music you like. Watch the movies that make you laugh. I mean, just look for it. Look for it. Look for it. Because if you don't do it yourself and you really need help from a psychologist or a psychiatrist, accept it, surrender to that, and also say, yes, I do need it. And I'm going to do something for myself because we're here and we have to make our time here the best we can. You know, make it worthwhile.
I love it. And here I just want to make a quick note because all the plans that Andrea mentions are things that are good for you. Don't confuse going out with numbing yourself with alcohol or numbing yourself with pills or going from bed to bed thinking you're distracting yourself. It's about going out with your support network, with your loved ones, doing things that are good for your soul, things that nurture you emotionally, and being with people who really make you feel a little better than before you saw them. And you, of course, feel everything you need to feel, like we already said. But don't stay stuck there because that's really important, right? That's super basic.
And also, know that it's not wrong to have a good time. When you're feeling bad, especially if you've had a significant loss, for example, the passing of someone you love, and suddenly there are people who they feel a certain remorse for laughing, guilt, of course, or guilt. And it's like, how? While she's gone or he's gone, I'm here laughing, or I'm going out to eat with my friends, or I'm dancing, or no, do it. Do it. It's not wrong. Think about what she would tell you. Go ahead and sit there and cry, my little girl. Go to your room, lock yourself in, close the curtains, and cry until you die. Nobody wants that for someone they love, right?
Of course.
So really think about it. I mean, it's not worth it. And it's okay to vent to the right people, but also dragging your pain through life is also complicated.
Yes.
It's okay to vent, but we're not just that. We're not just the woman whose mom died. Sab, no, I mean, I'm Andrea, the mom, the friend, the one who works, the one who likes to enjoy life, who is joyful. I like to have fun. I like to laugh out loud. I also cry. I mean, I'm many things.
Of course.
I'm not just Andrea, the one whose mom died.
All right.
We are all being seres. We are made up of many things, not just one emotion, not just a sad feeling, right? No.
I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated. I have nothing else to add. Okay. Speaking of love, your daughters, you've constantly mentioned them as a catalyst for your reinvention, your strength, your new stage. What would you suggest for them soon? I'm not sure how old they are. Can you tell us more about that?
18 and 20.
Okay. Let's say they're 25 or in their 30s.
Yes.
After everything they've been through, after what they've seen, would you encourage them to get married, have a partner, start a family, have children?
I think that I've been able to see it for myself. I mean, children watch, children imitate sometimes, right? That's why for many it's inevitable that they end up doing what their parents do, right? Because it's part of their life. They like those stories. They like love stories. They have the same dream as me, which is the greatest thing. they have a relationship, a beautiful romance with a nice guy too, who also has a family. Like, well, well, similar to what I've experienced in the end, he's just a boy who's, I don't even know what to call it now. I can't tell what's traditional anymore. But in the end, both of them, as of today, we don't even know if they'll still be together in a few years. Mia does want that. Mia does think about it, Nina, too. But specifically with her, I can see it. She gets really excited about babies. She says it's not the right time, but I tell her, yes, give me a grandchild and I'll care for them because we love babies. She says, yes, I want to, but not now, Mom. They have that dream, more than something we instilled in them. What I advise them is to be with a good person, with someone who looks like a good person, not just someone who dreams, but someone who fights for their dreams, someone who can be an entrepreneur. Because in the end, both of them, even since chiquititas, know what it means to work for what you have. And to get something from that work and then buy yourself something with what you earned. And for them, their work hasn't felt like work. It's also become a part of life because they're also really talented. And there have been experiences in theater, in commercials, Mia, well, already in concerts and so on, in shows. And they know how to really value work. They're respectful of work, prepared, and so on. But in the end, they do know that they can be independent and that when they're with someone, it's because they're truly in love. And because that person makes them feel the same way too, that it should be reciprocal. That's something I tell them, that it should be reciprocal. There's a lot of coldness to it.
Let it last as long as it has to. But while it lasts, let it be beautiful, right? I mean, it shouldn't be something that makes you cry and suffer more. And to punish yourself instead of seeking companionship, learning, or growth.
Nor toxic people. And no, they're not. They haven't experienced it either. But they're not. They're girls who are respectful of others. So in the end, respecting your partner in what they do and everything, I think that's good. I also tell them that preferably it should be someone healthy. If you can avoid someone who isn't, even better,
Better.
mentally and physically healthy, someone who doesn't have any kind of addictions. That's also a piece of advice I give you. It's complicated, but we're not here to fix other people's lives. Let them go to a psychologist. What a nice person. You're a good person, but that's it. I mean, I was lucky that after about 3 years into the relationship, without Eric living in chaos all the time and everything. But yes, he has shared it. He had problems with alcohol and other things. And so I was lucky. We were lucky. And he was lucky too. Mainly, he made the decision to say, this is enough. He couldn't control himself when he drank. He didn't drink daily, but when he did, he was hard to control. And I didn't want that. Then he realized he didn't want that. So my daughters have never known either their mom or dad to be drunk. And honestly, I celebrate that. It's okay to have a few drinks. I've had some too at certain times. They know that. I mean, there were times when I got a little tipsy, right? Tipsy. But I don't like it. I mean, I think life should be lived with all five senses. I mean, there are little things that might make you feel comfortable and all that. But when you've already crossed the line, which is hard to know exactly where that line is, it's dangerous. It's risky.
You talk about your daughters like, I imagine they're a lot like you and probably like Eric too. And that they're already working and they're girls who, well, like to be in a relationship and all that. And they have a really beautiful outlook, right? You're a woman who, I mean, it's obvious where those daughters come from what I'm seeing here. I don't know them, but I see you as very feminine, very warm, very, as you say, affectionate, successful. And well, I know a family that maybe changed a bit, but it's functional. What would you recommend to women today, either from your generation or the ones after yours? Because they want to shine, they want to blossom, they want to be strong women, they want to be complete women, but they're losing a bit of that warmth, that femininity, and everything. And they start to like get into a power struggle with men. So, how have you managed to find this balance of being like, I'm awesome, I'm a complete woman, I don't need anyone, but I can still be part of a family? I was in a long term relationship before, and if I met someone now, I could do it again. What do you suggest for them?
Well, in the end, as far as recommending something, no, I don't know. But I think that something that has worked for me is it's standing up for who I am, what I believe in, and what I like. Knowing how to say, I don't like this, I don't want this for myself. Setting setting boundaries, I think, in the end. I was never someone who jumped on any bandwagon, as they call it, sorry, any hype train. In stages where suddenly you see people who are trying to find themselves, like, oh, now I'm finding myself, I'm searching for myself, and so on. They suddenly jump from one bandwagon to another, following every trend. So there's a bit of everything. That they stand by their own qualities, beliefs that they develop them in the end. Really, I do believe it. No one is ever the same person. That thing about, oh, people don't change like that. Yes, we do change, and hopefully it's for the better. Based on hardships and mistakes, and on the harm that has been done to us, and maybe the harm we've caused. But I think it's important for you to stand up for all these concepts and beliefs that you're discovering, the ones you idol, ikio, and that you shape yourselves through that. That it's not necessary to imitate others just to fit in. Doing certain things just to fit in. I think in the end, relationships have to happen naturally, also from a place of respect. If you lived through a story where you didn't see that respect, where you didn't see it at home, you can also build something beautiful out of pain. So, more than just giving advice, we do keep building ourselves. And if we break, we pick up our little pieces and put them back together, like kintsugi, right? Which is like this Japanese art where they restore pieces and put them back together with gold, and they become very special, right? I mean, these vases take on a different kind of value. Well, that's it. If you keep breaking, if you keep transforming, then put the pieces back together and mend them with beautiful things and try to make your life into something beautiful. Make it worthwhile and don't get stuck in pain. And don't settle for people who are just there because you don't want to be alone, or you stay with someone who doesn't make you feel good, who doesn't make you feel valued, who, when they're honest with you and want to tell you the truth, doesn't hurt you. I mean, I think that's something we have to do. We're transforming every day, right?
Totally agree. Two more quick questions to wrap up as we head toward the end of this beautiful episode. Honestly, I feel like, well, my heart is wide open because you are too, and it's beautiful. I hope people are enjoying it. Let us know in the comments if you are.
Thank you.
This new Andrea, the one you're rebuilding, as you say, with all these little pieces, what does she look like? From now to, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years from now, both in your work, with your daughters, and also in your love life. How do you see yourself?
Well, I long for fulfilled, happy, and joyful. Actually, no, I don't have a plan or any set way to do it or a 5 year goal. Oh, honestly, no, I prefer it. This way, one day at a time. That's my favorite phrase. One day at a time, things fall into place. Life surprises you. Well, a woman with a kind of maturity that allows me to adapt, to change over the years. You realize that, yes, there are a lot of changes, that, yes, life doesn't stay the same, and that, yes, we have to move and adapt, and that with those changes, you can also live beautifully, sometimes even better. So honestly, it's with the hope of that whatever happens from now to 5 years from now, I continue to have that resilience and that ability to adapt so I can try to live well.
I'm going to stick with that because that ending is beautiful. You have no idea how much I appreciate you making the effort to be here. I know you're a very busy woman with a very full life. You've already shared a lot with us, despite your busy schedule. Thank you for making time and sharing with my audience. I ask everyone who watched this episode to tell me if we take it what they take away from, to share it with someone who might be going through this. And above all, to remember that when you find yourself in these kinds of situations, just like Andrea, you can move forward, you can reinvent yourself, and you can eventually share your greatest pain as a success story with someone else to help lift them out of that bed from behind those closed curtains and to be able to touch each other's hearts, because today you touched ours. Thank you for that, Andrea.
Thank you, Johnny. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks to your audience, to those who are sitting there and stayed until the end. But thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. And well, yes, it's been a long time since I opened my heart like this. Thank you.
You have a beautiful heart. Thank you for sharing it with us. I really mean it. You are an amazing woman. I never imagined this level of conversation. I'm truly honored you did it here. Thanks again, and thanks to everyone who joined us. See you in the next episode.
A True Production.